All right, again, be sure that you have your notes labeled, okay? Week 6 study guide, maybe a date next to that. Today's 9/17. Some of you, I was looking through your notebooks trying to find your study guide. I couldn't find it because nothing was labeled. So please label your notes each day. All right, so problem number 1 on this quiz, find the perimeter of the rectangle. Perimeter of a rectangle is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And they give you the length and the width. Okay, so the perimeter is equal to 2 times 57 plus 2 times 47. So do it in your calculator, please. Anybody? $208, and that's in feet. All right, please pay attention to this next problem because it's not difficult, but it seems to get missed a lot on quizzes. So we got Jose who wants to put a fence around his rectangular garden. So he's got a garden, and it's a rectangle. His garden measures 33 by 39. All right, so this is 33. This is 39. The garden has a path around it that is 3 feet wide. So this garden has a path around it. The path is 3 feet wide. So on the left side of this path, on the left side of the garden, we got 3 feet, and on the right side of the garden, we got 3 feet of path. On the top of the garden, we have 3 feet of path, and on the bottom of the garden, we have 3 feet of path. How much fencing material does he need to enclose the garden and the path? So he's putting a fence around the outside of this path. So we need to find the perimeter of that with new dimensions. So if the garden was 33 feet wide and it's got a 3-foot path on both sides, what's this new width? It's 33 plus 6, right? 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom. So the new width is 39. This new length has the same thing happening to it. 3 feet on the left, a 39-foot garden, and 3 feet on the right. So 39 plus 6 is 45. So now you're going to do the perimeter formula with the perimeter is equal to 2 times 45 plus 2 times 39. And do it in your calculator, please. Anybody do it yet? Yes, what you got? 168. That's what I got. Thank you. 168, and everything is in feet. It's important that y'all do these calculations while we're doing the notes to make sure you're pushing the right buttons in the right order and that we're all getting the same answers. Problem number 3, find the circumference of the circle to the nearest tenth. Use 3.14 for pi. So circumference of a circle is equal to 2 times the pi times radius. So this is just substitution because you're given this dimension from the center to the edge of the circle. From the center to the edge of the circle, is that the radius or the diameter? Radius. So our circumference is equal to 2 times, we're using 3.14 for pi, so 2 times 3.14 times the radius, which is 28. So again, in the calculator, 2 times 3.14, 2 times 3.14 times 28. Anybody? 175.84. So look, if they ask you to use 3.14 for pi, which has 2 decimal places, have 2 decimal places in your answer. All right. So this is in meters. All right, problem number 4. Find the perimeter of triangle ABC with vertices. All right, A is at 1, 1. B as is at 7, 1. And C is up here at 1, 9. All right, so side AC is vertical, isn't it? It's parallel to the y-axis. So you can either count the blocks, or you can take 9 minus 1, which is the y value. So what's 9 minus 1? 8. So this side AC is 8. Side AB is parallel to the x-axis. And again, we're going from 1 on the x-axis to 7 on the x-axis. So how far is it from 1 to 7? That's 6. So side AB is 6. So we need the third side. And the third side's on a diagonal. So we need to use the distance formula. So let's label these points. x1, y1, and x2, y2. So now we're going to find out how far it is from C to B. So CB is equal to, that's your distance formula. It's in your notes and we've been doing it all week. So we've got x sub 2, which is 7, minus x sub 1, which is 1. We're going to square it and add it to y sub 2, which is 1 minus y sub 1. So 1 minus 9 squared. So CB is equal to the square root of 7 minus 1 is 6, and 6 squared is 36, plus, if you got your calculator out, you can type for these y's, you can type 1 minus 9, hit equals. Screen should say -8, and then go 2 above the 8 and hit x squared. That's 64. Now that number, the 64, is still sitting in your calculator, so just push plus 36. It says 100. And if you don't know the square root of 100, just 2 buttons above the 9, push square root of x. And that's equal to 10. So this third side, CB, is equal to 10. So our perimeter is equal to 8 plus 6 plus 10. 8 plus 6 plus 10, 24. And that would be in whatever units this coordinate plane is. They don't mention unit measure, so we'll just stick with the 24. All right, in problem number 4, we've got a parallelogram. They're asking you to find the perimeter of the parallelogram. The perimeter of the parallelogram is just equal to the sum of the sides. Parallelogram has a lot of same properties as a rectangle. All right, the top is congruent to the bottom, and the left side is congruent to the right side. So if we find the top, which could be the length, and the right side, which could be the width, we've got enough information to find the perimeter. All right, so look at AB here. AB, we're going from -2 to, that's at point A, and point B is at 4, 2. And that's horizontal, isn't it? And horizontal is the x-axis. And how far is it from -2 to 4? Good, 6. So side AB is 6. All right, AB is equal to 6. So now we need to find either BD or AC. So point D, the coordinates of point D are 0, -1. So if we're going to find the distance from B to D, so B to D, we're going to label these points. All right, B is at, or I'm sorry, the 4 is our x1, 2 is our y1. And then point D, we've got an x2 and a y2. So B to D is equal to the square root x sub 2 minus x sub 1 is 0 minus 4 squared plus -1 minus 2 squared. And 0 minus 4 is -4 squared. 16 plus -1 minus 2 is -3 squared is 9. So we need the square root of 25. And the square root of 25 is 5. So our side BD is equal to 5. So perimeter is equal to 2 of the lengths, which is 2 times 6 plus 2 times 5. And that's 12 plus 10, or just type it in your calculator. And what do we get? 22, thank you. So 22 is the perimeter of that parallelogram. All right, problem number 6. If the perimeter of a square is 72, what is the area? All right, we get no picture here. Perimeter of a square is 72. What is the area? All right, perimeter. of a square is equal to, it's in your notes from Monday. It's also in your book. Perimeter of a square is equal to 4 times one of the sides. You need to find the area though. Area is equal to one of the sides squared. So since area requires a side length, you need a side length. But you know the perimeter. So you take the perimeter formula and replace the P with a 72. So 72 equals 4 times one of the sides. If you divide each side by 4, you can solve for S. And 72 divided by 4 is 18, is equal to a side length. And now you need the area. So we're going to substitute. Area is equal to 18 squared. And 18 squared is 324. This original dimension is in inches, so our area is going to be in square inches. Square inches. And a square inch is a square that measures 1 inch by 1 inch. Problem number 7, find the area of the circle to the nearest tenth. Use 3.14 for pi. So area is equal to pi times the radius squared. In this diagram, are you given the radius or the diameter? That's the diameter. Radius is equal to diameter divided by 2. So in order to find this radius, we got to take 9.7 and divide it by 2. So that's 4.85. So our radius is 4.85. So our area is equal to pi, which they're telling us to use 3.14, times 4.85 squared. So 3.14 times 4.85 x squared equals 73.86. Find the area of the circle to the nearest tenth. So 73.86. This hundredths place is 5 or more, so the tenths place goes up 1. 73.9. If you've got the TI-30 XA calculator, you could just, if you've got 2 digits on your screen, you can push second fix 1 and it'll round it for you. But 73.9 is the area of that circle. Any questions up till now? All right, we got 2 problems left. Problem number 8. Find, to the nearest tenth, the area of the region that is inside the square and outside the circle. Circle has a diameter of 14. So does everybody see what's inside the square but outside the circle? It's this blue that I'm coloring in. See it? In order to find the area of the blue, couldn't we take the area of the square and subtract the area of the circle? Wouldn't the area of the square minus the area of the circle give us what's left on the outside of the circle but inside the square? That would be the blue area. Okay? So the diameter of the circle is 14. So if this circle from side to side through the center is 14, then what's the dimension of this? What's the side length of this square? Isn't the circle touching the square on both sides? If this diameter was 14, what would be the side length of the square? 14. So the area of the square is equal to 14 squared. And the area of the circle is equal to pi times the radius squared. Well, this dimension that's given is the diameter. So our radius is equal to 14 divided by 2, which is 7. So the area of our circle is equal to pi times 7 squared. And we're going to subtract those. So 14 squared in your calculator is 196. And then pi times 7 squared. So they're not telling you what to use for pi, so you can use the pi button. 153.9. And again, we're subtracting. So it's 196 minus 153.9. And that's 42.1. And regions and squares. Okay, we're in inches again, so this is square inches. 42.1 square inches. Area of the square minus area of the circle gives you the area of the region between the square and the circle. All right, and number 9. The figure is formed from rectangles. Find the total area. So to find the total area of this, there's 2 ways to do it. I think the simplest way is we can label the big square. They're calling them rectangles, but we can label this area 1 and area 2. Total area, we can say total area equals area of 1 plus area of 2. And the area of a rectangle is equal to length times width. So this A1 has a dimension of 8, but it doesn't have a dimension across the top, does it? Look at this dimension across the bottom. From the left side of these two shapes to the right side of the two shapes is 10 units. But this portion right here is 2 feet. So what would be the size of the top of A1? 8 feet, right? 10 minus 2. So this is 8 feet. So area of 1 is equal to 8 times 8, which is 64. And look at the area of 2. You've already got both dimensions. You've got a length and a width. And 2 times 2 is 4. So the total area is going to be equal to the sum of the two areas of A1 and A2. So 68. We're in feet, so this is called square feet. And a square foot is a square. What would its dimensions be? 1 foot by 1 foot. Very good. Square feet. Anybody have any questions? All right, that completes your study guide for today. You've got the rest of the period to work in the ALEKS app and to get your electronic assignments finished and submitted.